Well, you need to have two teams, like an open game of football, not all these things that don't make a game of football nice. Yeah, boss. How are we going to play against PSG? Well, I think we'll park the bus. Good morning, 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 everybody. Good morning, Gooniverse. Good morning, Arsenal world. It is Thursday, the 9th of April. We are creeping closer towards the weekend. We are creeping closer towards a big one. It's going to be a big one, isn't it? And no matter how you try and play it, no matter how you try and talk about it, in my mind, I've tried to go, look, it's Bournemouth, it's a Premier League game. It's a Premier League game. If this was like middle of December, like it's Bournemouth, okay? Like, no disrespect to Bournemouth, they're a good side, but you just kind of like, it's Bournemouth, it's another Premier League game. But now we are right towards the end of that running, aren't we? And bloody hell, it's big. It feels big. Are we making it bigger in our heads? Can't we just go, it's a Premier League game, right, guys? Just like any of it. It's like the sporting game. That was kind of big, but this is just, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Anyway, get on with it, Eddie. Yes, my name is Edwin Ash. Welcome to the Big Arsenal Breakfast Show. We are live. It's 7 a.m. And by George, we have Georgie Boy in the chat. Georgie Boy is in the chat. George Holtham? Is it Holtham or Holtham? Do you say it with a th or a t? George has said, I'm tired, but he has joined us. He's been threatening to join us for a good few days. Georgie, welcome to you, sir. Thank you for joining us. I'm quoting you later in the show, so it's going to be the sort of inverse comment quotey chat thing going on. Thank you. He said second pronunciation. What did I say? Holtham. Holtham. Of course it's Holtham, right? It's a very wholesome name. Wholesome name. Wholesome. Yeah, I bet he's had that a million times before. Sorry, George, but thank you for joining us, man. How you doing this morning? You tired? What else you got going on? What else you got going on? Let us know. Let us know. What are we doing today? What are we doing today? Right, we are going to have a little look back at the Champions League quarterfinals first leg. Of course, there were some results. We're going to do a little bit of general news. And we're going to get into some Martin Ødegaard chat because that seems to be the debate of the day, doesn't it? People seem to be having a mass debate over that. And yeah, we're going to have your opinions, your big ass opinions. I guess we should start really with a little bit of Champions League news, right? Let's do that. Let's start with that. So, as you all know by now that Liverpool lost away at PSG. I mean, PSG could have absolutely spanked them in that game, to be honest with you. They had chance after chance after chance. Pretty much went the way we thought it would go, given that Liverpool's form is obviously a little bit shit at the moment, really, honestly. And yeah, they could have gotten battered. But what do we think about this chat? Morning, G-Dog. Morning, G-Dog. He says, hi, hi. Hi, hi, G-Dog. You back from Portugal yet, mate? Or are you still sunning it up? You back? Let us know. The Liverpool, normally I'd say Liverpool, Anfield, they can turn that round. They can turn that round. And they can. They definitely can. I don't think they've got the Klopp spirit like they did in that Barcelona game, famously, those many years ago when they turned around a 4-0 lead. I think they can do it, but I could also see PSG just running away with it even more. What do you think, guys? What do you think? G-Dog says, nah, fly back today. How did you get on with that machine? You said you were learning a new machine. You don't have to tell us if you don't want to. I was so intrigued. G-Dog's been with us. He's an OG of the Babs show. He is an OG. Happy Gunners. Happy Gunners. Good morning to you. New person in the chat. Happy Gunners. Fills me with joy. Welcome. Happy Gunners. How are you doing this morning? What's on your mind? Get in the chat. Let us know. Let us know. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us, Happy Gunners. I also love the name, Happy Gunners. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see, Happy Gunners. Not like, next up, someone will come in like, miserable gooners. Oi, Ed, you're a twat. I've had plenty of that this week. Oh, God. Oh, my God. We all knew the internet was toxic, but fucking hell, you cannot post anything without someone basically saying, you're a prick. I've come to learn that very quickly this week, these last month. G-Dog said it was very interesting. Learned a lot. Good week. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Been hotter at home. Got soaked Tuesday night. Yeah. Yeah, I heard about the rain Tuesday night. Well, we saw it on in the game and all over. And it has been hot. Yesterday was lovely. Yesterday was really, really nice. 24 degrees. Today it's going to be only 20. Today's only going to be 20. George is back in the chat. He says, I really think your channel will do well. It's really professional and for a small channel. Georgie, boy, if I tell you what, if you can, George, I get the distinct indication, Georgie, that getting up at 7 a.m. to see this show doesn't suit your lifestyle, which is why, Georgie, I respect you even more for doing it. I respect you even more. So thank you for being here live. I should say also, George, if you can't make it live every day, just go and watch the show afterwards. That really, really helps us. It really, really does. So if you can't make it live, we'd love to have you here live. We want more goodness in the chat. Thank you, G-Tox, agreeing with George. We want more goodness in the chat live, obviously, because the truth is, guys, oh God, I'm going off on such a tangent. But, you know, you're here. I want to talk to my guys here. The truth is, guys, the idea of the show is obviously to grow it. We want to reach more gooners. We want to have good, respectful, fun, funny, silly discourse. We want all of that stuff. And the only way we can do that is if people join the chat, comment here and there. And to get behind the nuts and bolts of it, it's a bit boring. I'm learning this for the first time, right? Basically, well, I hate the word, but it feeds the algorithm. What that does, it starts spreading it to more Arsenal people. It starts going, hey, you look like you're an Arsenal fan. You might like this. And then that's how it grows. And that's how you get a few more people just coming in and having chat. And by doing so, by being here, you're supporting the show, is what I'm basically saying. So I would also like to say at this point, which I do every morning, sorry, it's a bit of admin, Lizzle and Subscrizzle. If you haven't already, I'm sure you guys in the chat have, Lizzle and Subscrizzle. And we are on TikTok if you want to get involved over there at Big Arse Breakfast. We are currently in jail in TikTok. Those of you who've been here every day, you know we're in jail at TikTok. We're not allowed to post. It seems like a glitch. I've been saying, oh, maybe it's my spicy takes. It actually seems like a technical glitch. I can't get hold of anyone on the TikTok support that isn't AI. They keep saying it's fine. It's not. I've deleted the app. I've done all the stuff. Blah, blah, blah. It's not working for us to post, but we can see your comments there. We're also on Instagram at Big Arse Breakfast. We're also on X at Big Arse Brecky. But the most important thing, if you don't mind, Lizzle and Subscrizzle. Like and subscribe, please. At Happy Gunner says, I get my dog for a morning walk. Nice to be here and listening. Oh, that is, I love, I picture the image, man. I could picture the image. Happy Gunners, walking the dog, listening to the Bab Show. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Right, stick around, guys. I'm going to rattle through some daily news. We're going to have a little look at look, let's wrap up this Champions League stuff, right? So Liverpool lost. They could win. We don't think so. Barcelona lost 2-0 at home to Atletico Madrid. Again, in the craziness of those La Liga teams, in the craziness of the Champions League and what it can throw up, you wouldn't put it past Barcelona to overturn that in the second leg. It's a commanding lead for Atletico Madrid, but they have had some ropey results this season. Barcelona went down to 10 men. It would be a different story over at Madrid. What do we think? I mean, look, I don't want to tempt fate. We've only got a slender lead against Sporting. Fingers crossed and all that sort of stuff. If it was going to be Atletico, I think I would be marginally more comfortable with that than I would be with Barcelona, even though I feel vaguely confident about a Barcelona game as well. But what do you guys think? After last night's result, Atletico or Barca? Who do you think's going through and who do you want to play? Let us know in the chat. And thank you for getting involved. It warms my little heart. And thank you, George, for your nice comments. Honestly, I feel that stuff. I really do. Let's do a little bit of general news. It was just a little bit of general news yesterday. I've nicked this from Daily Cannon's website. I don't even know Daily Cannon. Get on to dailycannon.com. It's Dan Critchlow, who does an amazing job over there of aggregating, amalgamating, writing stories, Arsenal stuff all the time. Dan Critchlow, got to give him a shout out for their work at Daily Cannon. And they just posted up, oh, no, sorry. Dan Critchlow's the next one. This one was from the Evening Standard. My apologies. So this is from the Evening Standard, which is a very quick one. Arsenal stars at risk of Champions League ban as UEFA suspension rules explain. To summarise, Christian Norgard, Zubimendi. If they get a yellow card in the second leg, they will be out of a semi-final. So they're on the edge. If either of those two, you'd think Norgard might not play, but basically if Zubi gets a yellow card in the return leg, he will miss the semi-final first leg. So they've got to be really, really careful. My question to you is, would you guys not play Zubi in that second leg? Because after the quarterfinals, those yellow cards are completely wiped. They are gone. So they'll have no problem, really, unless they get sent off, leading up to a potential final if we get there. But it is a risk to have Zubi on a yellow in that second leg. Would you maybe not play him? Are we good enough, strong enough not to have Zubi in that second leg? Let me know your thoughts. The second bit of news, which was a sort of nothing. This was Dan Critchlow, sorry, at the Daily Cannon, dailycannon.com. You should get over there for all your Arsenal news. It's one of the better, more reasoned ones. It's not full of junk and shit and whatever. Dan Critchlow seems to be on it like Sonic. It was just a report about Arteta had basically said that Ødegaard was seen limping off by Alex Howell at the BBC in their live reporting during the game. And there was a bit of a concern. People were getting a bit up, like, oh my God, is Ødegaard injured? Is Ødegaard injured? Bearing in mind that some people are not really liking Ødegaard at the moment. But is Ødegaard injured? And Dan Critchlow had written this little bit saying, no, Arteta had said that basically they took him off. It was partly tactical, partly precautionary. Doesn't seem to be serious. If any of you were worried, about that, just a quick jump in the chat. George says, Barcelona are so confusing. They destroy Newcastle, then get beaten comfortably to a pretty average Atletico. Yeah, that's been the way. I mean, they've had some batterings this year, Barcelona, in the league as well. They are very confusing. Happy Gunner says, interesting. I bought fly ticket to Barcelona already. 5 hours drive between Barcelona and Madrid. Wow. Happy Gunners went in there early. So you bought the flight ticket to Barcelona thinking it was going to be Barca. And there's a 5-hour drive between Barcelona and Madrid. Yeah. Oh, man. It's a risk you do, though, isn't it? It is a risk you do. Georgie says about Zubimendi, risk it. Play him. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Let us have a little chat about El Capitan. I know some of your thoughts already. How are we feeling about Ødegaard? This has been the main debate all over the socials over the last 24 hours or so. I have to say, so if you haven't seen it, there's those videos going around. I think Rory Talks Ball had posted a video quite fairly about a lot of people had posted this video where Declan passes it to Martin. This is in the sporting game. He passes it to Ødegaard. Ødegaard passes it back. Declan passes it again and then points as if to say, turn. Turn. What are you doing? Turn. That's what it looks like on paper. We don't know. But it would appear to us that Declan's giving him the ball back where he's got two players either side of him and saying, turn into space. Turn into space. Now, the clip does get cut short, and Ødegaard does play it back to Declan for like a third time, and he goes round the player, and then he runs off towards the channel to receive the ball instead. What the clip doesn't show you is also, if you zoom out the clip, behind Martin Ødegaard, there are 3 players, right? Don't get me wrong, there is a little pocket of space there that he probably could turn into, but people seem to be losing their fucking minds about this one clip. And another one where he ends up passing it back to the halfway line. Now, we know it. It's frustrating. The Ødegaard thing, he's not Ødegaard of 2022-23, where he broke a record for non-penalty goals in a season for a midfielder. It was better than Frank Lampard's record, where he was on fire. And we haven't seen that for a long time now. And I understand the sort of restlessness around Ødegaard. It does beg the question, has his role changed? Has his role changed? Look, there's some stats on the screen here that I want to mention. This was in the Lisbon game. I'll just rattle through these because, okay, the ground duels one, he won 100%. 100%. It was 2 out of 2. Yeah, it was 2 out of 2. The distance covered was 8.8 kilometers. So that's quite high for 70 minutes of running. That is high. He was dispossessed 0 times. That is important. Dispossessed 0 times. And he set a Champions League record for this season for the most amount of passes or dribbles into the opposition box, right? That was a record by any player this season in the Champions League, right? His expected assists was low, 0.5. That's not terrible, but it's not great. He created 1 big chance and he passed into the final third 6 times. So on the stats say he wasn't terrible. The stats say he was doing bits. Let's also not forget that he's coming back from what is it, his third injury? He's had a wretched season for injuries. He's had a wretched season for injuries. We all want more from him. Absolutely, we do. We've got to get him closer to the box, taking shots. Although shooting boots have been off for a little while. But I don't think he's been as terrible as everyone says. Excuse me. Let's have a little look at what you're saying in the chat about this. G-Dog says, seen that video of a guy called Brandon saying Arteta should go even if we win the Premier League, but he can stay if we win the Champions League. What do you think about that? I don't think Arteta should be going anywhere, mate, to be honest. I think if Arteta, thank you for asking, G-Dog. I appreciate that. My opinion of Arteta is, quite frankly, unless we come away empty-handed this year, if we come away completely empty-handed, then you do have to ask, is it the right guy? I think we have to have the inquest. In my opinion, if we finish off by 1 point or something and we miss out on everything, there is still a part of me that's like, I would be concerned about ripping it all up, finding another manager to fit the culture, to start it all again, to bring in their ideas, to bring in their tactics, their players that they want. It does fill me a little bit with dread. I mean, it really does. I wouldn't be surprised if Arteta didn't win anything this year and he ended up going sacked or left on his own accord. That kind of wouldn't surprise me, and I don't think I would be anti it. But if we just fell short by a tiny bit, and the idea of bringing another coach in, because you could get worse. You could get worse. And I know the idea of Arsenal or Netflix FC, but they could get it right the next season. So I don't know. I'm torn about that. That's my opinion on that. Thanks, G-Dog. Happy Gunner says, I hope Waneri be back and together with Eze cover position, line 8 and 10 to cover 8 and 10. Rice and Zubi rotate on position 6. Yeah, I've thought that as well. Rice is not a number 8. Interesting. Rice is not a number 8. No, he's not. He's not technically a number 8, but he does need to be in those positions of that sort of box-to-box role, I think. Yeah, I know what you mean. Waneri, Happy Gunners, I think he's going to get sold. I think he's going to get sold. I think we have to brace ourselves for that this year. It's horrible. We have to make money out of our academy. It's a horrible thing to say, but we do. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe him or Miles goes. I would, yeah, Rice and Zubi rotating. To be honest, I've had this idea. I know it's absolutely crazy. Why not Zubimendi taking over the Ødegaard role for a game or two? He can play little balls like that. He can get busy around it. He can win duels high up the pitch. I mean, he's gassed now. I don't know why we didn't try that. Newbie in the chat. Chat. Turja Paul 14. Please forgive me if I've gotten it wrong. At Turja Paul 14. Arteta is responsible for Ødegaard, always playing it safe and not taking any risks. It's a big shout, Turja. It's a big shout. And that's kind of what I mentioned in this piece here. Has his role changed? Is Arteta asking him to do more basic, simple things? There's one thing that Arteta's not asking him to do. Because he said earlier in excuse me, I just knocked the mic. He said earlier in the season that basically he doesn't want Martin Ødegaard dropping deep to collect the ball. He said that in an interview, in a presser. He said, I don't want my players there picking up the ball and doing it deep. So that's an Ødegaard thing, I think. But at the same time, this control, risk-averse play, it is different from that 22-23 season. I wonder how much of that is the manager and how much is Ødegaard. Guys, I will come back to you in the chat. I see it's popping off. This is great. And I thank you all so much. I've got a little bit more to get through before we move on. Let me just have a quick look at what we're doing here. Yeah, so we've done the Ødegaard thing. Thank you for your thoughts on that. I mean, I'm not hating on it. Do you know what? Georgie, just on the last thing on the Ødegaard bit, Georgie boy, he said, I think he is a good captain, but as a player, he doesn't look that confident. An unconfident captain isn't a good mix. That is a fantastic point, George. There is something going on with the confidence, isn't there? We saw it last season. He was off it. He was injured a lot. He looked, if you remember, he looked like he was losing weight. He came back from his injury. He was really wizened and skinny. There was something going on last year. It might have been a personal thing. Who knows? You know, what people have that stuff, and God bless them. But he didn't look right mentally. And this year, he must be proper depressed about it. He's had 3 injuries. But imagine, let's dream big, right? Let's dream big. Imagine if now for this run, and he's like, I got to fucking get at it. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to fucking get at this. We got ourselves a title to win. We've got a Champions League to win. Let's see if he can do it. G-Dog says Rice is way better at 6. I want to see more creativity. Ødegaard is not the guy. Ødegaard's not the guy. Okay, G-Dog might have made his mind up on Ødegaard then. We'll see. Right, let us move on to Big Arse Opinions.
Apart from the two penalties he gave away, I thought the stuff was
Shesh will never leave the
Secure spinner for life, mate. Way too dry.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Big Arse Opinions. It's Big Arse Opinions. And actually, this is the section of the show as we continue to go. The Big Arse Opinions are right here in the live chat. That's where we want your Big Arse Opinions. And we're doing that as we go through the show. But this section, we tend to dedicate a bit of time to what else has been going on in the Twitterverse and other people's Big Arse Opinions, your Big Arse Opinions, my mum's Big Arse Opinion. Not my mum. I'll get my mum on here. She doesn't know football. She don't know ball. Or do I? Right. Where do we start? Okay. Georgie Boy. Georgie Boy made an appeal. Made an appearance. Here you are, George. Look at this in the inverse. Here we go. He said, I'll talk about Ødegaard tomorrow. He is well supported by the fans, in my opinion. I think that says in my opinion. I'm pretty sure he did an interview about the criticism and said he takes it and ignores some and always tries to improve his game. Maybe old Ødegaard is going to come back. See, George, that's what I'm hoping for. Maybe the old Erde is on his way back. I hope so. I absolutely hope so. Thank you, George, for commenting last night and joining us this morning. Mal Smith, 1618, said, I would be one of the heaty ones. This is why I said yesterday, are you putting some heat on people? You're one of the heaty ones. He says, I'm one of the heaty ones. But I also know there's a player in there. I think it's the manager's tactics. Watch Ødegaard 4 times in the first half last night, come into the defensive third to collect the ball, and when he's meant to be the closest player to Gyökeres, very frustrating. Yes. He says coming to collect the ball. He definitely did. There was a point in that game in Lisbon where he was between Saliba and Gabriel, and everyone else was up the pitch, and he dropped all the way back to pick the ball up. Eddie, Saliba can progress the ball. You don't need to be there. Surely you don't need to be there. So I agree with Mal on some of those points. Thank you, Mal, for getting in touch. Who else we got? Oh yeah, I put out a clip yesterday that because as we're growing the channel, right? As I'm learning, you got to clip things up. You got to put it out there. You got to spread the love, right? This is what you got to do, right? And I got to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Sometimes before I head off to my other job as I'm not going to tell you what I do, but it's boring shit. I'm sat here and I'm like, I need to clip something up, put it out and just say, here's the show this morning, blah, blah, blah. And I clipped up a thing, and I got to be honest, it probably wasn't the most entertaining clip, right? It wasn't the most entertaining. It was a bit said about some Ødegaard's psychological training, and I made a lame-ass joke, right? It's fine. You do it. You put something out, you figure it out, you go on. People have responded, though. Neil Hughes, 269, said, no one cares. And Finn Standen says, get a job, mate. The sad thing is I have a job. What do you assume I don't have a job? Anyway, it was funny. I thought it was funny. Right. Billy Carpenter. You know Billy on Twitter. He said, percentage of passes that go backwards. This is an interesting stat. Manchester City, 17.9%. Highest in the league. Arsenal, 15.7%. Fourth fewest in the league. It is a big misconception. Yeah, we do not play the ball backwards as much as Man City do. What it doesn't take into account is that maybe we don't make as many line-breaking passes, who knows? But we are not playing it backwards. We are trying to go forwards. Billy always comes up with the good stuff. Pure Angles at Pure Angles. I thought this was really, really interesting. Most wins in an Arsenal season. And he's listed them all, and he's got the win percentage rate. So I won't go through them all because there's a long list here. But what I will say is that there is a win percentage rate for for Premiership. How do I explain this? When we've won the title, that's it. So 2003, 2004, 66% win rate, right? That was the Invincibles season. In 2001, 2002, when we won it, a 65% win rate, right? So 66 is 65% there. This season, 25-26, a 75% win rate. That is 10% higher. That is better than any other season. I don't know if that's through history, but of the 10 or so he's listed there, that is top. A 75% win rate. Why is that important? Because it tells you how high the standards have to be now. It tells you how high the standards have to be. We are winning games at a better rate than the Invincibles. And yet we're still on the cusp of winning things. We're not there yet. Just thought that was really interesting. Guys, I will jump back into the chat in a moment. And we'll come to you. I can see it's popping off. Thank you, guys. Kenzie said, what a great night in Lisbon. I love this. This is a fan experience who was there. I love to read these ones. This is really interesting. Kenzie at MC Highbury says, what a great night in Lisbon with 2,600 fans who are 100% behind Arteta and every single Arsenal player. Not a whiff of the negativity or toxicity we see on social media. Every comment, chant, and song was positive. That total and unconditional support for the club is how it should be, in my opinion. And that is the difference, isn't it? That is the difference. Now, I will hold my hands up and say I haven't been to an away game for many years, Arsenal. It's been a while, right? But when you are there, the vibe is always, always, always different. It is huge. And it's very easy for people to get on Twitter and pop off at the club and say really wild, speculative, mental shit. It's easy for them to do that. But when you're there and you're with the team, you see them busting a gut. You guys know this. You're in the zone with them. I just think it's quite important to have that frame of mind, have that in the back of your head when you're thinking about these things. I don't know where it's going at. I just like to see that. I like to see that. And also in this chat, in this very chat, people being respectful, no one going crazy, people putting in some good, honest opinions that make sense, not just wild shit. If Arteta doesn't win the league, I'd have him exported. It doesn't need to be that fucking toxic, does it? Thank you, Kenzie. We're nearly there, guys. I will come back to chat soon. Kaya Kainak, just on the Ødegaard thing, Kaya Kainak writes for Tifo Football. He said, it can be true that he's not been at his best this season without needing to launch a campaign against him. He's a very important player when AFC are at their best. That's on Martin Ødegaard. Can be true that he's not been at his best this season without needing to launch a campaign against him. He's a very important player for AFC when they're at their best. That's it, isn't it? Look, we're all wanting 2022, 2023 Ødegaard back. Let's face it. That's what we want. In the meantime, I don't think he's doing bad bits for us. I still think he's important. I still think he does a lot of good. I really do. I mean, look at him in that Lisbon game, leading the press, harrying the players up, constantly leading the press. When we turned over the ball in those pockets, it's because he's the trigger to go and do it. He covers a lot of ground. He does a lot. And I just wonder if that role of his has changed now. But, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I think there is criticism that can be fairly put towards Ødegaard, but at the same time, I still think he's playing. He does a lot. He does a lot. And then lastly, what have we got here? Anfield. Okay, so this is a Liverpool one. This is a Liverpool fan, right? And I just thought it was quite interesting. The Anfield Fix said, for the best part of a year, Slot has moaned about how Premier League teams don't want to play football and always references PSG as an example of a team that plays football the right way. Now he has the chance to play PSG again, and he comes out with a back five, parks the bus, and plays like Tony Pulis. Ladies and gentlemen, we know what that means, don't we? That means, Arnie Slot, welcome to the 180 crew.
180 crew. 180 crew. Come and join the 180 crew.
Yes, Arnie Slot, welcome to the 180 crew. Okie dokie, let's dive back into the chat in just a second. I've got instant karma. Here we go.
Instant karma take of the day.
Whoa, instant karma take of the day. If you're new to the show, guys that jumped in the chat, the instant karma take of the day. Do you know what? There's a pun behind it, but I had to cover it up because this thing's so big. So it's instant karma, spelled C-A-L-M-A. C-A-L-M-A. Instant karma. That's the pun. If you're listening on the podcast, it probably doesn't ring as funny. It's probably not funny anyway, but here we go. This is from the Football Terrace. I just wanted to run through this very quickly because we're running over slightly and I still want to get back to you guys in the chat. George has asked, what is the 180 crew? Oh, the 180 crew, that's a sort of segment that we've come up with on the show that basically if anyone's contradicted themselves, they've done a complete 180. And it happens quite a lot. People go out mining tweets. Like quite often you'll see big accounts on football saying, look, the thing is with playing football is you should do X, But then someone finds a tweet from about 6 months ago, sometimes 6 days, that says, the thing is for football, no, you should be doing Y. So it's people that contradict themselves. They do a 180. So that's why they join the 180 crew, putting them in the 180 crew. So the Football Terrace said, if Arsenal win the league, watch the narratives. Now, this is important because as we get towards this running, brace yourself for this. I thought this was quite astute. Here we go. These will be the narratives. I'll only praise Arteta when he retains it. This is a one-off. Do the league plus the UCL. Then we'll talk greatness. They've won it before. Nothing historic. Elite teams sustain it, not win it once. Where are the other trophies? They didn't reinvent anything, just repeated history. Everyone else handed it to them. 1 billion spent, bare minimum. Asterisk it. Liverpool had an off year. Others collapsed. Arsenal didn't win it. Boring, robotic football. Standards have dropped. Doesn't erase the recent bottle jobs. One season wonders don't build legacies. My high standards are why they won. Just memorize that list because that's what's coming to us if we win it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. But we are going to dive back into the chat because we've seen a lot. Right, here we go. Here we go. Happy Gunners said, we can't always look back, ruthless and move forward. Who is going to be sold in the summer? That's a big question. We'll come to that towards the end of the season. I think we'll wait to the end of the season. Look, let's face it, the summer's going to be tricky to keep that Arsenal buzz news going. There's going to be transfer news. There's going to be all sorts of stuff. There's going to be a lot of bullshit out there as well. But we will cover that every morning. I'm still going to go through throughout the summer. We've also got a World Cup. We're going to plan something around the World Cup as well to keep you all interested. Keep us all talking about the Arsenal. We'll follow the Arsenal players, all that sort of stuff. But we'll do a bit more transfer stuff towards the end of the season. Who is going to be sold? I don't know. There's loads of rumours, isn't there? There's rumours of Ødegaard to Bayern. There's rumours of MLS and Ethan potentially up for sale. There's rumours of Martinelli. Always rumours around Martinelli, Trossard, all that sort of stuff. But I think let's park that. Let's get this title over the line if we can. And we'll come to that. Georgie said, I think about Ødegaard. He comes off with his head down quite a lot. He always knows that he hasn't done enough. That's true. We're not backwards, but we do play in slow motion, small passes. That is what was nice to see with Martinelli playing a lovely ball to Havertz. Great point, George. Yeah. G-Dog says, great from Kenzie. The away fans represent us well. They fucking do. The away fans are amazing. As I said, I haven't been for many years. I'm not gonna lie, but the away days were the most fun. They were the most fun. Always, constantly singing. And you hear them on the TV. You hear them on the TV all the time. Georgie said, I don't know if you live in a suitable proximity to the Emirates. I do, yeah, I live in London, for Arsenal games, but I can't even get tickets. So I went to Women's North London Derby 5-2. Very good game at the Emirates. Okay, for my sins, I haven't even started covering the women's game yet. For my sins, we will get there. Generally, it's not like a lack of interest or anything like that. Generally, I just haven't had the time. But you've reminded me, George, I should at least get those mentions in on the show. And I will go to those games. I will do. Just like lacking time. I'll be honest with you, it's lacking time. And that, my friends, my goodness, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to George Holton. Thank you for G-Dog. Happy Gunners, nice to have met you. Nice to meet you. Turge Paul 14, thank you for getting involved. Oh man, you're all so brilliant. You're all so brilliant. Like and subscribe, listen to the scribbles, spread the joy. Have a brilliant day. We'll see you tomorrow, 7 a.m. as we prep for Bournemouth. Tomorrow, 7 a.m. Get your arse in gear.